Which leads me nicely to what I wanted to ask you about, because you mentioned something on the Voyager stuff, right, about just somewhere to dump your data, which is what everybody in recruitment sees CRMs as.
That's right, yeah.
I buy an off-the-shelf product, I have tabs, and these tabs tell me this is where you store this.
And all the tabs look the same now.
And I've got to put that in. So client name, Michael Sharma Group.
Yeah.
Client contact, Nitin Sharma.
Yeah.
Position, and I've got to put all of that in.
Yeah.
So you mentioned off camera about the kind of
trouble now.
the AI stuff,
the experiments that you guys have got
the
going
experimental stuff. I think if you think sort of 5-10 years into the future, is anybody going to buy software? Probably not. If you look at the companies and the products that sell, people value the data that's in the software. The software itself is a byproduct of needing or wanting the data. And I think that's a big part of the future, certainly my future. CRMs, there's thousands of them out there. Your definition of easy to use is different to yours, and it's probably different to mine. You might like, black and purple. I might like, Outlook silver and grey. Do you know what I mean? And there's so much personality in what your definition of easy to use is, that everyone's selling easy to use software. So I think the future is really more about looking at what data you value and how do you configure the ease of use. So just to give you an insight, we've all got access to LinkedIn, but what are you doing with it? If you're just surfing and scrolling, it's just another distraction. It might as well be a filing cabinet that you go and walk to and have a look in. So I think having a system that will present you with the audience that you haven't yet tapped into, pointing out the Nitin that you forgot to phone back, doing real simple things. Like, think old school, right? In the olden days, you'd phone someone wishing them happy birthday, congratulate them on their work anniversary, to spark that conversation, talk about the football or whatever it might well be. But how about an automated email that says, is it really 3 months since we met in Coventry? And that sparks back, crikey, hasn't that gone quick? How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. And I think that's what salespeople will buy. They'll buy a tool that comes with data that makes them money.
But I think that's because it's no longer acceptable for a CRM just to be a
CRM.
dump. Just a dumping ground for data, right? I mean, we've used multiple different CRMs across the board within recruitment at our time, employed as well as working for ourselves. We've tried and tested so many, the most basic of CRMs against kind of the most cutting edge, and half the challenge is always just getting recruiters to just use it for its capabilities. Our current CRM, it allows us to put in like availability of candidates, and I can tell you now, none of our guys use that because they don't know how to, right?
So,
and it's hidden.
And I think the smart thing is to assume someone's available and to know when they last answered the phone and when they last replied to a text. And so when you look at an availability list, you can actually use AI to present you the most likely available candidate.
That's right.
Instead of what you're talking about and what most recruiters do, which is not update a database, which frankly is probably really easy to use, and then realise that I didn't update it for 3 months, so if I'm not doing it, you're not doing it, and you're not doing it, and then why is anyone doing it? So then you haven't got a system that manages the very thing you've bought it for.
But you have a hard time getting recruiters to put notes down in terms of what their conversations are. Do you know what I mean? Never mind then keeping it up to date.
The weak link is the human, my friend. You've got to sync the WhatsApp, the SMS, the Outlook calendar, you've got to sync the phone, and you've got to tell people recruitment is a phone-based job first, and if you phone and leave a message, it sends the email. That's
it. You can have all the tech that does everything. You can bring all the information to the forefront.
And what are you going to do
if that person, if that human isn't doing anything with that, or anything valuable with that data, then it all falls apart, right?
I go to a lot of recruitment companies, a lot of face-to-face meetings. I'd much rather meet someone than do it online. And with an online meeting, people will say to me, as a salesman selling software, show me what's new. And you're like, what's new is the fact that you booked yourself in this meeting because you clicked on an email that talked about what's new. You're always looking for what's new, but you didn't answer the phone for the last 4 times I called you. I sent you an Outlook invite that you didn't accept, and you're 15 minutes late to this meeting. Now, again, as a salesman, it's kind of lost on them because I'm trying to sell them, but the experience that I have when talking to recruiters is, for the most part, they're disorganised. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't broke their day up into key selling times. They haven't put a lunch day in with their biggest clients once a week. I think you just got to do a little bit of everything. And to that effect, I've been here for 20 odd years, right? And that's never changed. 24, 5, 9. It's never changed. Recruitment's never changed. What has changed is the technology. And